Chapter 18. The 5-Year Plan for Wealth. 1,000 good intentions are not as powerful as one action. No one will plan your life for you if you don't plan it yourself. And if you fail to plan, you have already planned to fail, because it is only proper planning that prevents poor performance. Everything being revealed in this book will not benefit you fully if you don't make a commitment to utilize it and develop a plan of action to work with. 1,000 good intentions is not as powerful as one action, and until you give attention to your intention, the world will not give you attention, and your own world will also stand at attention. In 1997, I came to a place of frustration due to my financial situation, and I cried out for a change. It all began in 1993, but came to a climax in 1997 to 1998. I realized that between 1993 and 1998, I was only desiring and longing for financial change, but not learning and doing what needs to be done. Then I went all out to learn all I could about creating wealth. I developed a plan, and within 5 years I broke the power of poverty over my life, and today I am financially free. I believe in the power of planning for wealth creation, and I want to end this module with what I call the 5-year plan for wealth. I believe that everybody can create wealth in 5 years if they hatch a plan and execute it based on all that this book has revealed. Year 1. Information Stage. When I began my journey to wealth, I read hundreds of books on finance and wealth creation, read biographies, did researches, and studied the secrets and lives of wealthy people all over the world, and of course, I was transformed in the process. If you are not informed, you will be deformed. If you are not updated, you will be outdated. If you are not inspired, you will expire. If you are not in the know, you can't be in the flow. Knowledge is the key to transformation, and to experience any true change, it is first within, then without. You must change on the inside and create a new reality within you before it can be created for real outside. The first year of your 5-year plan should be focused on getting all the information you can get about money, finance, business, and wealth through books, seminars, training, courses, workshops, DVDs, etc. Get financial intelligence, develop your skill, learn sales and marketing techniques, learn branding, packaging, stock market, etc. Learn all that this book will cover and more. Year 2, the action year. If you start with information, don't stop getting information. Be a learner for life, but now add action by this stage. If you have really been informed in the first year, you will have started developing savings and investment habits and traits. You will have started identifying opportunities and realizing your potentials and possibilities. Now is the time to start from where you are and with what you have. Of course, you can't give any excuse at this stage if you have truly been informed. Marketing on commission, network marketing, savings, etc. can be used to leverage for wealth creation. All the vehicles of wealth creation, places where rich people come from, rules of money, etc. can now be used. Year 3, the structure and system year. Now is the time to put structures and systems in place to grow your wealth, opportunities, and possibilities. If you have started acting in year 2 and still learning and getting informed, you will now have practical, real, hands-on experience, and you now know better which area to focus on primarily and which area can best produce for you. This 3rd year is then for establishing structures and systems. At this stage, you will need to register and establish your own company if not yet done, and put things in place like accounts, a team, etc. that will help you take your operation to the next level so you can play on a bigger platform and increase your reach and returns. Year 4. The expansion year. At this stage, all things being equal, you should be looking at expanding your possibilities, applying multiple streams of income to your business and investment. Duplicating your structures and systems in other places and sectors increases your stake and reach in the market, and expanding in every possible way legally and health-wise. At this stage, you start expanding physically but also virtually, using technology and the internet to spread your wings and fly. None of the previous year's actions should ever be suspended at any time, because they are all part of the chain of events. Year 5, the Freedom Year. If you follow this 5-year plan and really commit to it with all you have, by the 5th year, you should have many things working for you and yielding fruits, and you should be free. Being free does not mean you stop working or stop investing. It only means what you have flowing is enough to sort you out, but you keep moving on because wealth creation is not all about you and your needs, but about being empowered to impact your world. You have discovered the secret and your passion, and you love what you do because it is working. As you follow your 5-year plan, use the 5 fingers of the Midas touch and change your story. The thumb finger, develop a strength of character, integrity. The index finger, follow one course until successful, your passion. The middle finger, brand yourself, packaging. The ring finger, build positive relationships, the dream team. The little finger, handle the little things that counts and don't take things for granted, familiarity. In your 5-year plan journey, make sure you learn to read and track trends like we said earlier in the last module, because it will help you create free flow of money. Trends are like waves, electric current, or traffic. You either flow with or get run over. Let me remind you of and add more trends to note for you here. 1. We now live in a world of bargains, and that's what people are looking for, and there are diverse competitors waiting to edge you out. 2. We now live in a world of cost effectiveness, and people want more for less. 3. We now live in a world of social networking and online shopping, and to ignore this trend and refuse to join the flow will be a major error. 4. We now live in a world of home business opportunities, and people don't have to leave home now to work or make money. 5. We now live in a world of global warming, green movement, and peace talks, and the evolution will bring drastic changes to many things. 6. We now live in a world of training and education, and people are doing all they can to be trained, get financial education, and be better. 7. We now live in a world of edutainment, and fun, humor, and entertainment must be infused in many things in today's world. It's a new season. It's a new world. It's a new era. It's an era of sudden change due to the media, the internet, technology, etc. It's an era of individualism, and people are more selfish now and can access anything online from their homes. It's an era of transparency, where you can't hide due to the internet, and if you refuse to be transparent, you will be exposed. It's an era of recommendation, where word of mouth sells you and spreads your fame and fortune. It's an era of networks, and you can't afford to operate without a team. It's an era of consumer choice, and people now have more choices, so you have to be better, cheaper, faster, wiser, etc. It's an era of collaboration, where joint ventures, partnership are the trends of the day. Develop a plan, stick to your plan, and sooner than you think, I will see you at the top. The power of imagination. 2 men, both seriously ill, occupied the same hospital room. One man was allowed to sit up in his bed for an hour each afternoon to help drain the fluid from his lungs. His bed was next to the room's only window. The other man had to spend all his time flat on his back. The men talked for hours on end. They spoke of their wives and families, their homes, their jobs, their involvement in the military service, where they had been on vacation. Every afternoon, when the man in the bed by the window could sit up, he would pass the time by describing to his roommate all the things he could see outside the window. The man in the other bed began to live for those 1-hour periods where his world would be broadened and enlivened by all the activity and color of the world outside. The window overlooked a park with a lovely lake. Ducks and swans played on the water while children sailed their model boats. Young couples walking amidst flowers of every color, and a fine view of the city skyline could be seen in the distance. As the man by the window described all this in exquisite detail, the man on the other side of the room would close his eyes and imagine the picturesque scene. One warm afternoon, the man by the window described a parade passing by. Although the other man couldn't hear the band, he could see it. In his mind's eye, as the gentleman by the window portrayed it with descriptive words. Days and weeks passed. One morning, the nurse arrived to bring water for their baths, only to find the lifeless body of the man by the window, who had died peacefully in his sleep. She was saddened and called the hospital attendants to take the body away. As soon as it seemed appropriate, the other man asked if he could be moved next to the window. The nurse was happy to make the switch, and after making sure he was comfortable, she left him alone. Slowly, painfully, he propped himself up on one elbow to take his first look at the real world outside. He strained to slowly turn to look out the window beside the bed. It faced a blank wall. The man asked the nurse what could have compelled his deceased roommate, who had described such wonderful things outside this window. The nurse responded that the man was blind and could not even see the wall. She said, "Perhaps he just wanted to encourage you."